This is the People Before Politics show, broadcast every Sunday at 6 p.m. Hosts Damon K. Jones and AJ Woodson bring you the news that impacts our community. Join us for unfiltered, unapologetic coverage of the stories that matter most. Black Westchester magazine presents the People Before Politics show, the news with the Black point of view.
I look a little bit better. See me better now, right?
Yeah. Just say something because I got to turn my mic.
Microphone check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Peace and blessing, everybody. I just got to switch mics real quick. Go ahead, talk, AJ. Let me switch.
So you are tuned into another episode of Black Westchester presents the People Before Politics radio show, giving you that real talk for the community since 2014. Yes, we are celebrating our 11-year anniversary. You hear me? 11 years giving you that news with the Black point of view, that real talk for the community, fighting the power and all that stuff, informing the community for 11 years. And we are still standing. Do you hear me? We are still standing.
Yep, we are.
There was a quote. I read the quote the other day. I want to see if I can find it again. Yeah, I put it on our back page. There's a quote by Oscar Wilde. I remixed it. Presidents, mayors, county executives, they reign for 4 years. But free, independent journalists governs forever and ever. What Kara said, we will be here forever and ever and ever and ever. Elected officials change, administrations change, but we are still standing, giving you the news with the Black point of view since 2014. Do you hear me?
I don't think so, man. I don't think they get it, bro. I don't think they get it. We've been trying. We've been attacked by the best.
Been attacked, our credibility questioned. People, yo, David. So people always want you to keep it real till you say some real shit they don't like, or that some real shit about them.
Exactly.
As long as it's not about them, they want you to keep it real, though. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. You know, and that's just been our dilemma, but. You know, the goal is to inform the people, educate, and levitate, and that's what we do, man.
Thank you, Jamie Sanders. Said, congratulations, you are truly a powerful voice and great inspiration. Thank you. And yo, we couldn't have done all of this without all of y'all who've been watching, who've been reading, who've been submitting stories, who've been calling us with the tips, because we don't know everything that's going on, especially in communities like Austin and Peekskill and all that, in Port Chester. It's because y'all people in that community let us know what's going on and keep us informed so we can keep everybody else informed. And all those people who advertise and the sponsors and all the collaborators, you see me and Damon's name and our face on everything, but there's a whole lot of people behind the scenes that kept this machine going, this great experiment going for 11 years. Word up.
Yeah, and we thank everybody, man. We thank everybody. Excuse me right now, I'm just making sure we shared all over the place.
So while he's doing that, so also shout out to talking about people support. Shout out to all the fans, family members, and friends of JVC Force. August 16th, yesterday, was the 37th anniversary of our debut album. Doing Damage, which had the strong song Allen on it. 37 years later, we're going overseas next month to the Netherlands, to London, to Denmark, Copenhagen. And next week, not tomorrow, but next Monday, April 25th, we're rocking out at the Video Music Box Experience at Eisenhower Park in Hempstead with Rakim, with Drez from Black Sheep. I think they're supposed to have Jeff Red and Janae from Renee from Janae. Supposed to have Fonda Ray from Over Like a Fat Rat. Austin in the house. and some other groups, a bunch of other groups. There's a free concert in the park. You can come out. It's Monday, August 25th, Eisenhower Park in Hempstead. Come see your boys rock out. We're going to rock out at home before we go overseas. And, 37 years later, Damon, I am honored that people actually still care about rhymes that I did as early as in 87, and people are still singing them songs and been hitting me with all kinds of love over talking about how they grew up on it, how that record helped them, and all the stuff we did for them inspired them. And we did the anthem for Long Island when Long Island didn't have an anthem yet, wasn't getting that kind of respect. And it's a lot of people hitting me, and I'm overwhelmed and humbled by all of y'all. And the reason we still standing is because of all of y'all. Y'all kept the name alive, you know what I'm saying? And we still gonna rock out. So this is the beginning of us rocking out all over again, and I'm amped. I'll be with my Long Island brethren, Rakim. He gonna let the rhythm hit him. He gonna bring it. And Drez, engine number 9 on the New York Transit line. If my train jumps off the track, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. He gonna rock out. It should be dope. I'm amped, dude. I'm real amped. It's dope. Got some new JVC T-shirts. I should have them tomorrow or the next day. So if y'all want them, y'all see I'm posting them. Hit me up right away, or they'll be available at the show. So, I just wanted to get all that out. Shout out to everybody holding it down. My daughter Paula's coming up from Georgia to take pictures and video. You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of people rocking out with us coming through. So I appreciate all of them. Yes, yes. Yes, Fidel. Shout out to Fidel. I hope I pronounce her name, Fidel Jones. Damon, this sister got it going on. She got a podcast out in Long Island. I went out there for a documentary they were doing in Long Island on the underground origins of Long Island hip hop. Shout out to her husband, Jeremiah Jones. Shout out to Archie Snowden. And Archie Snowden, I said it at the show and I'll say it here, was one of them cats in Central Ice of Damon that inspired me to pick up my game. We went to like a rap battle back in the days. I had to be like 13, 14 or something, 15 maybe. And he killed it and won the championship. He won the trophy or whatever. And we were walking all the way back. It'd be the distance from like walking from Mount Vernon High School all the way back to the South Side. You know what I'm saying? We walked all the way back. We were singing his lyrics, and we was inspired to get our lyrics up. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that did the documentary. So shout out to all of them. I think they all come through.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's so dope.
All of them. Yes. It's about to go on.
No, that's great. That's what's up. That's what's up. Big shout out to everybody who is supporting AJ out there. I don't know, man. It's kind of a long drive for me. I'm still debating.
Well, you in Middletown. That's you ain't in Mount Vernon no more. Like, because it's just across the bridge.
Right. I'm still debating. I'm like, damn, man. I don't know, but I'm still debating. But that's great, man. You gotta, give AJ a shout out. Please, people support him.
Yes.
A lot of people are getting tired of this music. It's not fulfilling. It's actually hurting our community. This new
and that's only good. That's only good for my generation, because that means y'all keep reaching back to my generation now. So I should be really busy over the next couple of years because of the music that they're putting out right now. So I'm happy about that.
The music they putting out is trash, straight trash. Made me come back out in my rap game via AI because I don't feel like doing no video. Made me come out. Y'all check out Black Westchester music. Check my rap game out. All about God. Ain't no cursing and murdering and shooting and killing and all this other stuff.
People didn't realize, and I just read this and I had to look back and I don't remember. As dope as Rakim was, is the topics that he talked about some gangsterism and all that other stuff. I don't think Rakim ever cursed in a rhyme though. I don't remember.
I remember him cursing.
You could be one of the dopest MCs, talk about street game, talk about the streets and all that, and have the love of the streets, and you ain't got the curse. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta blame. But you gotta. Oh man, what happened? Where'd I go? Oh, there you go. But you also gotta blame these music heads, because I remember when the whole thing when the whole industry and they was having that talk, right before Minister Farrakhan had that meeting with the hip hop artists, and Conrad Muhammad, aka Pastor Conrad Tiller. Now,
the hip hop minister, we knew him as the hip hop minister.
Right. When he was in these discussions with these hip hop, I guess the heads of these little labels that they had, they were always worried about the money. Like they didn't really care. You could tell, and I was in one of the meetings, and you could tell that they didn't care, right? And they was in control. This is what these big labels wanted to hear, and they provided it for them.
But also,
because that's all they were worried about.
So also, it all happened when it got corporate, and all the big corporations realized there was money to be made in hip hop. There are some groups that I know, I don't know if they want me saying their names, who tried to put out like really dope positive records, and the label had them go back and do something else. Like they had that one real hard record, and they wanted them. So they promoted, they got better promotions and sold more records and pushes for putting out that stuff that was detrimental. Now, we've always had hard talk and rough and real talk in our communities. You know what I'm saying? But that's when we were doing it in our communities. That was with us. You know, if you sell more than 100,000 records, you're not selling to us no more. You're not just us. Nobody's going platinum off the Black community. You know what I'm saying? When you move in units like that, you selling the white suburbans and suburbanites, and that is their representation of hip hop. For those who don't see us every day, they only see and hear what they see on the video and listen to on the record, and that's their perception of Black people. So when they think they got to be Black, like Vanilla Ice, for real, Vanilla Ice, who had a hot song, Suge was working with him back then. He thought he had to make up. He thought to be a rapper, he had to be rough. So he made up this story about he grew up in the same neighborhood that Luke grew up in. And he got this fight and he got stabbed and all this other stuff and got exposed that none of that was true. Luke even came out like he was never in my community. You know what I'm saying? But as a white boy, he thought that's what he had to do to represent hip hop. Because
that's
he
what the
wasn't
label.
from where we're from.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
That's what the label wanted him to do. He did whatever they wanted him to do to sell records. Right,
but I'm saying he also, because he didn't grow up in our community, thought that that's what hip hop was about, shooting and killing and being from the streets. That's not.
Yeah, well, that's what they made it about. Like you know, that's what they made it about. And even some of the, you know, the well-known hip hop artists follow Q. You know, some was just they follow Q.
That's why I always love cats like Scarface. Scarface gave you those real stories, but at the end, he also gave you like what the cost of living that life is. There was always like a story, and then at the end, you was like, "Yo, you end up dead or in jail." Like, you know, it was some of the dopest stories, but it was balanced. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just all about the streets. It was balanced on what that life do to you.
And it had a negative effect on our culture. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, it has, you know, even the rap artists, man. Y'all, if for y'all say it didn't have an effect on the culture, then y'all just culture vultures. You know, y'all no different than a culture vulture because
you know they lying, Damon, when they tell you. When I see these interviews, and I wrote for The Source, and I wrote for 10 years as a hip hop journalist. When you ask them, will they let their kids listen to that music? They say no. So they won't let their kids listen to the music, but they let your kids. They make the music for your kids to listen to. Because I've asked several artists who make that kind of music. They don't let their kids listen to it.
No, that's how you know. That's how you know it's bullshit. Oh, excuse my French. That's how you know. That's not you know. You know, it's just BS, and that's why God's doing what He's doing to the whole entertainment industry right now. He's exposing it. You know, so he's exposing the whole culture that came out of that, the whole glamorous, materialistic, you know, pimps and strippers and all that stuff that was negative. he's exposing it all. You know,
So, I wanted to change the subject. I wanted to change the subject just a little bit, and shout out the whole hip hop academic community. They're using hip hop more in colleges and academic circles. And shout out to my man Andrew Wang, he wrote an article for us about how learning beatboxing helped him with his speech impediments, and he's been doing this stuff on hip hop and neurodivergence. I think I pronounced it right. And he's being asked to speak everywhere in all these places. Shout out to Chance the Rapper, who just in a recent interview announced that he was in special ed classes for a long time, and he had a lot of these issues and stuff, and he's using his platform to speak up on that. And some of our kids need some help not put in these classes where they're ignored, and he explains all that. So someone at his level and at his platform, using his platform to speak up for that, I got to give him shouts. So that was just recent, and that's it coming from him, it hits different. And he was like, "Yo,
right, yeah.
Like, I'm a very smart dude. If I never told you I was in special ed class, you would never know." Like, so he talked about all that going through when he was going through school. He did that in a recent interview. Shout out to Jamie Sanders, says new member. Yes, shout out. Appreciate you for being a member.
Thank you.
Joining the Black Westchester fam. Yes.
Thank you, Jamie. God bless you, man. God bless you. So
that's another way y'all can support Black Westchester. Become a member, join, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you like and all that stuff, but subscribe, because this helps. We have the freedom to put out the information that needs to be put out, but freedom's not free. So you know what I'm saying? So to keep doing it, people join in. One of the things you can do is subscribe to the YouTube channel. And that's one of the ways to keep us going and keep us giving y'all that real talk for the community since 2014.
Absolutely. So, where the media at? So, man, listen, it's about to get hot.
When he starts out with "man, listen, y'all, you never know what's coming next."
Listen. Now, I don't know if people that are watching are familiar with the whole Tish James investigation, but if you go to our YouTube playlist, we have a whole playlist on Tish James, and we also just last week I put together a whole compilation of the shows together discussing all the different items of evidence and pieces with Sam Antar, who actually found most of the information. But
so for those that don't know, so Sam Antar was involved in the Crazy Eddie scam, and he is the cousin of Crazy Eddie Antar, and all the things they were doing, he got arrested and for all of that, and now he is an investigator for the FBI. He's working with the DEA and all these other organizations. So one of his forensic investigations led him to Tish James, looking up some stuff with Tish James, and he uncovered a lot of alleged real estate fraud. And you can go back to the other shows, you can see that. You can go back to the video and you can watch him talking. So now we progress. The feds are now looking into that. They're like seriously looking into that, and now leading up to what Damon is talking about in the video that you just did. You can speak about that.
Right. So they subpoenaed her just recently, and that's in one of the videos. They subpoenaed her over using her political power for actually the Trump investigation and the NRA, not just Trump. They subpoenaed her on the NRA because she went to dismantle the National Rifle Association. Recently, just either yesterday or the day before, the special prosecutor, let me get his name correct. I want to make sure I actually get his name correct. I think it's Ed. Hold on. Oh man, I got so much going on here. The special prosecutor.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The special prosecutor assigned to the case was seen at Tish James' house in Brooklyn. looking at the house. Now we know from talking to Sam Antar of his visit to Tiff James' home, he said it was 5 doorbells.
So again, she registered as 4. Her apartment as a 4.
I was going to say that.
Okay, go ahead. Now I just want to catch people up because we're going ahead. Right. And people that didn't know don't know what we're talking about.
Hey, look, if y'all want to get catched up, we got a whole playlist. If you want to get catched up on the case, we got a whole playlist for y'all to watch. Hours of evidence and interviews and stuff like that. So we're trying to get through the show. So if you want to find out all the other stuff, go to the playlist. That's all I'm going to say with this story. Go to the playlist. But the heat is turned up when the special prosecutor is outside your house. And I just want to play the video that actually surfaced of this happening. Check it out.
No, I'm interested. Usually houses like this.
Tell me why you're here.
We're interested in the houses.
You're not interested in the houses. You know who lives here.
Is this like Second Empire?
It's just a track house. That's what all of these things are.
I know, but when was it built, you think?
They're built before 1899.
Oh, so, okay.
Why are you being so disingenuous about what you're here for? You're not here about the houses. You're here because of who lives here. It's my neighborhood. It's my block. I have a right to know what you guys look like. You're
happy to
official capacity.
I'm just happy to be on a block looking at a house.
That's not true. Why won't you be
No, he is happy.
Well, why won't you be honest with me about what you're doing? You are acting suspicious on my block in front of my neighbor's home, and you're not telling me what you're doing. That's not true.
Interesting houses. It's an important house. So, thank you.
It's not. It's just like every other track house on this block that was built by developers.
Right, they're beautiful. Beautiful neighborhood.
Thank you.
Do you guys call this a stoop?
What do you think?
I don't know. Is this a stoop? We didn't have stoops where I was growing up. Is this a stoop?
I want to know what you're doing.
So, yeah, he's happy because he saw those 5 doorbells. So that's why he's happy. But that means when the special prosecutor comes to the scene, it means it's serious. They're taking it serious, and they have to take it serious because, you know, to go after a New York State Attorney General or Attorney General in any state, you know, you have to have your I's dotted and your T's crossed, and you're going to have everything together, especially, you know, when you end up going to trial. But hey, everybody has been asking on YouTube and why is it taking so long? It's a process. It is a process that sometimes it takes long because they have to make sure that that they have anything. You know, Tish James, like I said, she denies everything. She says it's politically motivated, but you know, we had the person who found all the evidence, and if y'all like to watch it, please go so you could go through all the evidence, her signatures, what she signed, her mortgages, the certificate of occupancy in the Brooklyn property that says it's a 5-unit when she's been taking out loans as a 4-unit. And then people say, why is that a problem? Because it's interest rates. And so these are federal
units is residential. Four units or less are residential. And there's a certain when you get loans, a certain is based on that. 5 or more are commercial, and the loan structure is different. The whole situation is different. It's more they look more into that than they do the residential one. So that's basically explaining that a little bit. So that it does make a big difference.
And they're saying he's going after Adam Schiff for the same thing. So wherever I'm not sure what state Adam Schiff is, but they're saying that he did the same. Adam Schiff is in New York?
Wait, no.
No. I don't think he's in New York.
I made a mistake when I said that. I didn't mean to say that.
Yeah, I don't think he's in New York. But they're going after Adam Schiff too with that, and he's the same special prosecutor. So for those who have been hollering at Black Westchester on YouTube on why is it taking so long, Well, the process is the process, and you have to trust the process.
I'm sorry, California, and I meant to say California. I said New York, but California.
Oh, he's California.
Yes.
Yep. They going after him for allegedly the same thing. And the next up story, man, we have, which I think this story is great. Cluster Township in New Jersey passed a bill that parents are responsible for their kids' actions. So what will happen is, if it's a continuing, ongoing issue with your child, first thing you do, you get fined $2,000 for the incident. And then if you don't pay the $2,000, you're looking at 60 to 90 days in jail. The parents. And I'll tell you one thing, that should be a federal law all over, because you can't control your kids. If your kids is running into school and you don't want to seek help, it's twofold. It's the parents' responsibility to make sure that their children have some type of character and demeanor and know how to respect adults and respect the community. We just discussed this with Mount Vernon, with the big brawl where parents are fighting and all this foolishness out in the street. But it's also elected officials' responsibility to make sure if these parents have problems, that they're able to get help for their children. So it's twofold. But we just cannot have kids doing these things and there's no accountability. And if you know your child is bad, you need to correct it. And if you can't do it alone, because there's a lot of single mothers, absolutely single parents, and they gotta work. You know, when we had our mentoring program in Mount Vernon, one of the biggest problems that children had and how they acted out is that they were the parents when the parent wasn't home and they were at work. And they had to take care of their little brother and sister. He's a parent in the house. That came out in a conversation with one of the young kids on why he was falling asleep in class and getting in trouble. So these are the things. Let me play them. Abundance of service, especially mental health. Well,
this is not unique to Gloucester Township, but rather is symptomatic of a larger societal juvenile crisis. Now, I'll tell you, I don't have all the answers, but one possible answer is to hold parents accountable for their children.
No, that was it. I couldn't get the longer one, but they're serious about the business. And then, of course, there's protests. There's protests against it. Where do these hey, AJ, where the hell do these protesters come from? They pop up everywhere. They pop up everywhere. And there is a report, and I'm still doing the research on it, that there's a company that rents protesters. Literally. They interviewed the guy, but I'm trying to find more information on the company. Literally, they rent protesters. He's making millions of dollars. Yes, New York should adopt the law. Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's a whole nother story. But we have to be active in our voting. We have to be active in our voting, and we need to vote for elected officials that will support these type of laws. And don't let outside people from our community tell us how our community should be run. And parents, if you can't control your kid, get help. Ask for help. I mean, it's as simple as that. Because some parents do need help. But then some parents defend their kids' actions. Did you see the video when them three little dudes got caught stealing? And then the parent went on social media going off about her kids stealing, and they had the nerve to stop her kids from stealing.
She said they had the nerve to stop them from stealing.
Yeah, she went off. Yeah, defending her kids from stealing. But the craziest thing was how disrespectful the children were to the people in the store when they got caught. See, this is why I believe parents should be held accountable. And then maybe the kids will change their attitude. If they out here assaulting teachers, the parents should be locked up. Because you should be raising your kid not to hit an adult. Respect towards adult, whether you like them or you don't like them. That means you're not teaching your kids proper manners. If they're cussing out and calling adult B's and all type of names and this like that, that means you're not teaching your children.
Yo, my parents always told me, yo, if I have a problem with an adult, for me not to act, for me to go home and tell them and let them deal with it. And they would deal with it as an adult. But I was never supposed to, even if they were wrong, I wasn't supposed to, like, you know what I'm saying, come out the lip and be all this and all that. You know what I'm saying? But go back and tell them. And if the adults was wrong, my moms and my dad was handling it like as adults.
Not only that, we can't even call a parent and say, listen, Pookie was out here threatening old ladies. You don't be calling me about my son and don't be telling my son what to do. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. We appreciate it. You know, even if you try to correct and let the parent know, you get cussed out for doing that. And then they used to end up just locked up when I worked at the jail. Oh, there go Pookie. Yep, this is where he ended up. Over in the penitentiary in Valhalla.
Yo, was it you that told me, somebody who worked at the jail said there was some people that the father, the son, and the grandfather were all in the same jail?
Yeah.
That was the family business.
And the mother. The mother was in the female unit.
Oh, wow.
The son was in the penitentiary.
Yeah,
No, the father was in the penitentiary. And Afro Circus. Absolutely. That's what it was. And the son was in the jail. Whole family just locked up. And then I've just seen generations of sons locked up. And then, you know, these kids' sons just wanted to be like their father and come to jail. Listen, we have a crisis. No, this is not like the mob. Mob had standards. This is just Afro Circus. But I mean, we it's gotten worse because we're not talking about it, and then we got these liberal laws that are not correcting the problem; they're just keeping them out of jail. They're not changing they're not changing the mindset, and that's going to be a problem. We got to get back to family unit, man. Like, we got to get back to family, straight music. And that's going at men and women. Stop having these children out of wedlock. Studies show You get mad at me if you want to, but it is what it is. Study have shown children that are raised in two-parent households do a lot better. I was raised in a single-parent household, but I'm just saying, some of us make it through, and a lot of us don't. I've seen it. It's always better than have two. Even the Bible teaches you that.
And you know what? And for the ones who are technically in a single family household, but the family structure, you got the uncle, you got other family members that are actively involved. You know what I'm saying? There's that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, sometimes the situation with, you know, people being married and having kids and all that stuff, but the family, like, yo, I couldn't have like been disrespectful to my mom or something like that. I'd have had an uncle come visit me, like, yo, you don't touch your mom like that. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'd have had other men in my family like come see me outside of my father, like, you know, because you just don't do that, at least, you know what I mean? And you know, they come. What was you gonna say? It's too late for the native.
Well, Jack always try to just put.
He try to put that battery in your back.
Yeah. See, Jack be trying to get me. That's the general, because Jack know he'll say something and then I'll go on a tyrant for a whole half an hour. But I'm not going to do that. I have a schedule, Jack. We getting professional. Wrote down. We have a schedule. But I gotta address that, right? And that's why we have to change our language. And it's nothing against what he put up, African and Caribbean people. It's nothing against them, but we really have to have discussions on foundational Black Americans, right? We have to have discussions on what we're going to do as foundational Black Americans. And it's not even a slight at anyone else, but it's just like they tell you on the plane to put the mask on yourself first before you help other people.
Even if it's your elderly parents or
elderly
your child.
people. Yeah, you got to put the mask on yourself first. So I think Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, those who are descendants, you know, we have to have conversations about our economics, about our unity, about our communities, you know, and it can't be a one big tent. We have to get our act together, and then we're able to sit down with other groups. Because yes, a lot of them are benefiting off the hard work that we've done in this country. And I'm not trying to go to no other country. You ain't flying me. Look, I could visit Ghana. I ain't buying no land in Ghana. I'm not giving Ghana my money, because that's really all they want you for. Is the money that you made in this good old USA, America. That's what they want you for. And if they was really worried about me, they would have sent ships about 400 years ago to come get my Black behind out of America. I'm just keeping it 100. I have nothing against them, but I'm not going to build up their economy. I'm trying to figure out, how do we build a Black American economy first? And I'm unapologetic about it. You can get upset, but it is what it is, because look at our communities. You can say whatever you want, but I just tell you, look at our communities. Then you tell me if I'm wrong or not. So President Trump, I know me saying that sent a chill down everybody's spine that's watching. President Trump and Vladimir Putin had there they go right there. They had a Pursuing Peace Summit in Alaska. And you can go to Black Westchester YouTube on the publisher's desk, and you can see some experts. Well, no, the whole thing is up there on Black Westchester. We're not going to play it, but you know, the meeting was for 2.5 hours. And there was some comments made by Putin about working with America, ending the war, and the possible negotiations, and working with America through tech and different aspects of business, right? And basically, Trump said he had to go back and report to NATO and talk to the people in Europe. So that was it. But a lot of people say, well, Trump got played. Trump didn't get played. He got Putin to the table. He made the deal with Zelensky. So we'll see what happens. Whether he got played or not, we're going to see. But at the end of the day, it seems like everybody wants to end the war. So we'll figure that out. Oh, he'll figure that out. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But we need to end the war. The war must end, man. You know how much money we done sent over to Ukraine of our tax dollars, which could help Black communities and homeless and all that. And we're fighting a war. We got to be kidding me. So that's it on that.
Well, as Tupac said, they always got money for war, but can't feed the poor. That's
exactly.
That's American as apple pie.
Exactly. To be honest, I really don't think Zelensky wants to end the war because he doesn't want to have an election.
I don't know that to be true, so I'm leaving that alone. I don't know that to be true.
No, that's my opinion.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Oh, that's Alexa. No, that's my opinion because they haven't had an election since the war.
Well, we'll see. I don't know that to be true.
And a lot of times, wartime presidents don't win re-elections. I mean, that's just statistical. That's why no president wants to be going into election year when there's a war. Right? So I really don't think, because I mean, if you could come to an end of killing your people, as long as you benefit from it, then you should stop it. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying it's fact, but that's just my opinion. Who wants to run an election in wartime? Yo, dude. Yo, Jack. But you know what was crazy? When Putin came up on Trump on the red carpet and the U.S. pulled a power move and flew the planes over them, I was like, yo, that was a power move right there. Zelensky definitely wants to end the war. What you talking about, Willis? If he ends the war, you think he won't get reelected? No. And no, I said he would have to end the war. I said if he ends the war, I don't think he's going to get reelected. I really don't. The money has been sent to Ukraine to be better used in the United States. However, does the Black community at large ever really feel positive effects of America's surplus? There's never a surplus in America, but we don't demand it. You know what I'm saying? We don't demand it. We just give our vote. We don't demand nothing. What is the trade-off for the Black vote? What is the trade-off? When I was a union delegate and I was on the contract negotiation team, and you sit down, you negotiate a contract. the negotiator used to always say, you got to come to the table. Everybody comes to the table with a bag of goodies. So what goodies you got in your bag, and I'll show you what goodies I got in my bag. So there's trade-offs to come to an understanding. The question is, for our loyalty and our 90%, 95% of our loyalty for our vote to the Democratic Party, what has been the trade-offs for the Black community? No, I don't think they're afraid. I mean, because what else do Putin has nothing else but nuclear weapons. Nobody wants to go to a nuclear weapon. But he lost, you know how many people, you know how many millions of people that got killed in this war on both sides? He can't keep going. Putin can't keep going to the people neither in the war. He has to save face too. They both have to save face.
Well, Putin can only save face with a win. It has to look like a win. We can't.
Well, he's going to make it. You're right. He's going to make it look like a win. He's going to make it. Of course, he's going to make it look like a win. And Zelensky is going to make it look like a win. The key is, what is the offer that both of them walk away with, them telling their people that this was the best option and the win for themselves? What is it? I don't know. Will they keep whatever they got now and keep it moving? I don't know. That's going to be a discussion that's going to have to be at the table for both of them to come to the end of this agreement. I don't know. You know, yeah, Putin's a cold stove killer. He ain't no businessman. He's a killer. Putin, straight up killer. But I mean, y'all could watch the full thing. Go on the YouTube channel. We got the whole speech from both presidents, and he was very respectful. And he's very promising on moving forward, working with America, which will probably drive people crazy. Because we always have to have an enemy to say someone's an enemy, instead of saying, look, we out here trying to get money with everybody. Oh man, I'm missing one of the Umars. Well, anyway, another subject for everybody. What is going on with Brother Umar Johnson? What is going on with my man Umar Johnson? So Umar went, do I have it? Let me see. I was supposed to have both of them. I think I deleted one by mistake. Umar went on social media discussing that his school, Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey School for Black Boys, was about to be foreclosed on and auctioned off. And he claims that he didn't get the notice from the city. So, of course, I had to look up the process. I wanted to look up the process, and I'm trying to load up. I deleted it by mistake. No, I think this is it. Hold on one second.
Without a phone call, the city of Wilmington put a notice on the door handle of both of our schools, informing me that if we don't pay the past due vacant property registration fees and outstanding utilities by the 25th of Black August, they will sell our campus. Brothers and sisters, can I ask you a question? Why were we not notified that they were going to try to sell our campus? Brothers and sisters, why are they trying to sell our campus at the very moment that our accounts are frozen? Brothers and sisters, is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that the city of Wilmington is trying to sell properties that we own and have been working on continuously behind our backs. They were going to sell our schools behind our backs. They didn't even tell us that they were going to try to sell our schools. We received no notice in the mail. We received no notice by email. We received no phone calls at all that they were going to try to sell our schools. Instead, they put a notice on the door handle. Somebody stole one set of notifications and sent it to the YouTubian struggle streamers. Somebody stole the Frederick Douglass High School paperwork off the front door and sent it to the struggle streamers. But luckily for us, Sister Ra Ebony was able to get the paperwork off the Marcus Garvey School before the haters stole that paperwork. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe that they were going to sell the school, and they wanted to sell the school before we found out. I believe that they wanted to sell the school before we found out. We were not supposed to know that they were going to sell our school. Why do I say that? We were given no notification. We received no letter in the mail. We received no email. We received no phone call that they were going to try to sell our schools. Instead, they put a notice on the door in a low-income neighborhood. They put a notice on the door with rubber band and masking tape. They put a notice on the school front door with a rubber band and masking tape.
So, yo, I'm gonna have to use that, YouTubians.
Yeah, I did like that. I did. He said the YouTubian power strugglers or something. I gotta hear that again so I can see what he said.
YouTubians, that was a good one. But here at Black Westchester, I had to look up the process, right? Because he made some very interesting claims about the city, and trust me, I'm not knocking Brother Umar, man. I wish he keeps his property. You know, I wish he keeps his property. Being foreclosed on and having the city come down is hard. It's very hard. So I don't wish that on anybody. But when he said he didn't get any type of notice, I had to question that. So first, according to William in Wilmington, Delaware, is how it's supposed to work. There's a written notice by mail and a posting. That's the first step you get for unpaid city taxes or fees, right? And it says the sheriff must post a notice directly. Then there's a mail notice, and then they publish it in the local newspaper for at least 2 weeks before the sale. So he's supposed to have a mail notice, and there was something posted, and then it's also posted in the newspaper before. Now, he could put a motion to set aside the sale. He could challenge it. Since he said that these things didn't happen, he could challenge it, fail of due process. And he could also challenge it, fail of proper notice. Now, so then there's another article that says there's steps to it. There's a lien filing. The city records the notice of the lien unpaid, right? Then there's a motion notice. There's a motion filed in court, and the owner gets 20 days of notice to pay. Then it's the sheriff's sale. So according of two of these, I'm not sure which one is correct. Regardless of the fact, there's certain notices. Now, the other one that went deeper said that the motion notice is filed in court and the owner gets 20 days to pay before they go to the sale procedures. So, and we know, even dealing with Mount Vernon, right? There's a certain process. They have to notify, give them time, yada, 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 yada. Because they just had this big, sale in Mount Vernon, right? They just had a big sale. And even talking to the controller, they was giving out notices and also giving out, them time to set up payment plans, right? That's what the controller said. So
they put out the list to let everybody know what they owed. Those people had a certain amount of time to contact them to either pay or make a payment arrangement, and there was certain situations where it would get removed off the list if that applied. And if you didn't reach out to the controller's office after the list was after a certain amount of time, then the next steps would take place.
Right.
That's basically what the controller told us.
Right. So I was kind of perplexed when he said he didn't get any notice and any email and no mail, and I don't know. I don't know that to be so, rightly so, and correct. But again, I wish the brother the best of my luck. But then then a couple of weeks before he made that announcement, but I really don't know why Dr. Umar is putting all his business on social media. Some things you just don't go on social media and say. Then he put this out.
That being said, brothers and sisters, Dr. Umar has access to no money right now because my personal account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary. So the Prince of Pan-Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifatunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal. My personal PayPal account is Umar the Psychologist at yahoo.com. So that's paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, paypal.me/UmarThePsychologist, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, or hit my Apple Pay using my cell number 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. I've never asked the people for $1. I have never.
All right, I'm out. I'm not.
I want to say one thing. So, just a word of advice to Dr. Umar. When you set up a PayPal.me, you want to make it as easy as possible. It would have been so much better if you do .me/Dr. Umar. All that psychologists and all that. You asking a lot of people to sit there and hopefully they type it in right. And Dr. Umar would have just been Dr. Umar. And it would have been. So I'm not trying to clown you. I'm just saying, in the future, you might want an easier PayPal ME thing where people can remember Dr. Umar, and you won't have a lot of typos and trying to figure out how to spell certain things. That was my whole take from the whole thing. I ain't gonna say nothing else. All I know is, we're gonna find out what's true and not true. I don't know enough of the situation to really speak on it, but we're gonna find out. He's been a very outspoken brother, so if they're coming for him, they're coming for him. It's gonna be news. It's gonna be out there. So we'll see what goes on. I did want to say something though when you talked about the sale of Mount Vernon. So
Right.
The notice of tax lien sale is scheduled for September 23rd, 2025. The sale represents the second set of properties offered as part of the 2025 tax lien process. So I wondered, so people knew. I didn't want to have the wrong information. The sale is on September 23rd.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
And last subject I got, man, is so we all know what's going on down in DC, man. And whether the whole thing, well, dude, I don't know if people know why it jumped off the way it jumped off. It jumped off because one of the what was the Doge? One of the Doge employees, the one that got famous, Mr. B-Balls, got beat up in DC. Allegedly, he attempted to stop a group of people from robbing a female. And they put the beats on him. They posted the pictures all online. They beat him. So that was the catalyst for Trump to go off and do what he did. Now, yes, legally he's able to do it for 30 days. To move forward, Congress is going to have to vote.
Well, he had 48 days before he had to give Congress a piece of paper that extends it to 30 days. 48 hours, right. I'm sorry. And then well, as long as he gave
Janine Pirro, right? Janine Pirro did all that, right? Yeah. She is so then
it's a 30-day period, and then I think some other stuff got to be done so he can do this.
And then Congress, for them to totally take over, Congress is going to have to vote on it, right? So Janine Pirro, who is the former Westchester County district attorney, she is now the district attorney down there. She had a press conference, and she talked about how last year was 29 homicides of kids under 18 and under, young as 3 years old, and 2025 is already up to 16 homicides kids under 18 years old. So she didn't get into any homicides over 18. So of course there's been protests, there's been, back and forth, but there's also been Black residents saying that this type of move is welcome. I tried to think, I don't know if this is kind of long. Let me see. Let me see if I got it all in one spot. Hold on a second. And here we go. There's a lot of viral videos going around now. Let me try to move it forward. I can't move it forward. Let me see. I thought I could cut it. Well, there's a lot of viral videos going around now. They're everyday people saying, I feel safer than ever.
Man, down the city is quiet as a church mouse, man. I came all the way down Pennsylvania Avenue this morning. So peaceful, yeah. I don't smell no weed, yeah. I don't see no homeless people. I mean, I came all the way through the southeast side, all the way down here. You can see now I'm at the White House jump, man. It's quiet, yeah. It's a shame that it takes somebody to have to sit in your classroom in order for you to be in order, yeah. Because that's what it feels like, yeah. You got to be babysitter to do your job, yeah. Stuff been out of control for years. You got to do better, yeah. You got to do better, yeah. And mainly, young, you got the problems. It's us, man. It's always us giving everybody a bad name, yeah. We'll see how long this lasts, yeah. How many murders was it last night? How many carjackings was it?
City, bruh. Like, y'all do not know. Y'all out of towners, Mo. Mind y'all business, bruh. 4 infants got killed in a month. This shootings every day. Carjackings every day. The city is wild right now, bro. And it might say it's the lowest it's ever been. That's because these niggas not getting caught. There's so much shit going on. Y'all don't even know, bro. I'm really recovering from getting shot in DC, gang. So for y'all out of towners to be like DC's not that bad and this shit don't need to be done, y'all don't know shit, bro. Like for real, y'all don't know.
Want DC turned into a military. So there's another video of an interview with a young lady who lost her son to a homicide in DC, and she said that they were, I don't know what happened to the video. I thought I downloaded it. They were trying to ask for the National Guard to come in before. So the National Guard, with some black DC residents, you know, they have requested before to come in because of the crime. Even MSNBC Joe Scarborough was talking about the crime, and he read a text message from someone who was living in DC. He didn't say the name. And they were like, it's about time too. And I put a post on Facebook. See, when we don't police ourselves and make our community safe, the white man will do it for us. And then we're going to complain that the white man is doing it for us. We have to have the mindset of making our communities a safe place to live. Nobody else is going to love the city the way we love the city in the black communities. We're going to have to start doing it. Because they're going to come in and they're just not going to care. And then it's easier for them politicians not doing their job to blame the white man, to blame the racist system, to blame all that. But AJ, you heard me say it before. When I lived in Mount Vernon, I ain't see no Republican pissing in my hallway.
Yeah, you did used to say that.
I ain't even see. I ain't never seen a white man piss in my hallway. I didn't see Republicans out there playing dice. There's no Republicans over there by the bus stop hanging out, drugged up. Ain't no Republicans breaking into cars and shooting. I see hear gunshots outside of my window.
Yeah, same thing when
Wasn't no Republican. Exactly. Wasn't no Republicans doing that. Wasn't even white folks doing it.
Well, when you have a black-run, Democratic black-run city like Mount Vernon, you can't blame things on the Republicans. You can't blame things on the white boogeyman because they're not in charge. The Democrats are in charge. So, you know, it was funny. I said this several times. In doing all these stories, dealing with, you know, with running with Kenny, dealing with Kenny Chamberlain, dealing with all these police brutality stories and rallies and all that, you know, some of the things that people fighting for criminal justice ask for, we have here. They're demanding more black representation and leadership. We have that. They're demanding more black leadership in the police department. We have that. Like all those things that they're demanding, we have. Like people are fighting for this. And as you just said, other than the brother who just became the police commissioner, first black police commissioner of New Rochelle, yo, other departments was like, yo, they don't even know what it feels like to have a black police commissioner. They can only imagine having a black police commissioner because they've never had one. We're the only city that ever had one of those up until recently.
Yeah. I didn't even want to go there.
You got what I'm saying, or I'm watching the back between John Jones and
Listen. Nobody should fight. I mean, look, did we kind of make a mistake with the war on drugs and the crime bill? Absolutely. Because we wasn't at the table in dealing the bill when Joe Biden wrote the legislation. Black leadership wasn't a part of that bill. And it's sad to say that a lot of these cities are run by Black people, that Black people put in office. And then they got the nerve to tell you crime is down. But you can feel that crime is up because you live in the community. It's because we vote for Black politicians to manage and not change systems. They manage our systems. They don't change it. That's why how can you have police brutality under a Black mayor and a Black police commissioner? How can you have that? How can you have it? It's because they're not there to change the system. They're only there to manage the system. And then we keep voting them in. We do that.
I wanted to be clear on what you had just said, and this breaks it down. What you said. The Congressional Black Caucus, the CBC, played a complex and divided role in the passage of the crime bill, officially known as the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act. While the bill was ultimately passed with the support of the majority of the CBC members, their decision was without internal debate and controversy. They called for it. See, here's two things. We call for things, but I said this early on some years ago. We're not specific in what we want. We come in, oh, you got to help us, but we're not specific. And when they do help, you can't get mad because you didn't tell them what you want. You said come in and help. They was looking for a reason to do what they was going to do anyway, and you just gave them the opening to do what they wanted to do because you demanded their help. After 9/11, this country demanded help, and we ended up with the Patriot Act and Patriot Act 2 because the people were just demanding for it, but they didn't explain what kind of help they wanted. They was like, just come in and help us. So they came in and helped us in their mind, and we're not at the table in the conversation. We weren't specific in what kind of help we wanted. What we wanted, demanding exactly what we want, like other groups do. They're like, yo, we want this, 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 this. We said, help. You got to come in and help. You got to do something. And what they did was do something. Because what happened is they went to them. They said, look, we need your votes on this, and we got PepsiCo. We got these companies to make a nice donation to your campaign, right? But we need your help on this. That's how they get the Black vote, right? That's how they get these politicians. You go to the CDC website right now, and there's nothing in there about police reform. There's nothing on the Black mayor's website. And the fact of the matter is, most of those Black mayors have police brutality cases and even had consent decrees. There's nothing in changing police policies on these organization websites. I know because I looked before I wrote it in my article. And I put a link to the goddamn thing. Their criminal justice has nothing to do with police accountability and changing police policies. So we're putting people in place that have no intention. My mentor said, you want to know when somebody wants to change something? They put it in writing. It means they have an intention to do it. They at least put it in writing. How you sit talking about Black Lives Matter and taking a kneel for Kaepernick and all this other stuff, and you don't even have it on your mission statement as Black elected officials and Black mayors to address this? Hell, we had a DOJ report at the same time the mayor was the president of the Black Mayors Association. Go figure. I do want to be clear, though. What they were investigating wasn't only in her term, was way.
No. I get it, but she wasn't the first.
No.
Wait a minute.
Because people are going to say We said what we said.
Listen,
so I just want to be clear.
and
no one's saying all these things happened under her. Yeah.
I said what I said, and where has been the correction?
What correction? Or what has she done to change it?
Exactly. You still don't even got a police commissioner. And it's not just on her, it's the black mayors before her. So let's make that clear.
That was the only thing I wanted to be clear. I was like,
it's the black mayors, but
when they go run back and tell that, they're gonna say, "Oh, they blamed it all on Sean." And nobody's blaming.
Well, no. Well, they can listen to what I said, but where does the buck stop at?
Buck stops at the HNIC.
Exactly. Then you got a cop working 24 hours and shoot himself in the foot because he's exhausted.
Out of the whole story, that was the one thing that got me from what I know of the story and from the little bit that I read of the story, because I think they wasn't trying to let it get out. But from the one thing I did hear, I was like, how was he working over 24 hours? That's over 3 shifts. How was he doing that straight? Like,
because they allow it. No, they allow it, and any management would not allow that. We couldn't work. We couldn't work over 16 hours. 2 shifts. And if a supervisor messed up and you work in a double and they forget about giving you your relief, right? And let's say you go into, because you have to have 8 hours between shifts to sleep. So let's say you go into 3 hours, right? Into that 3rd shift, they forget about you. Guess what happens? That next shift, you come in 3 hours later. Because the supervisor messed up. It doesn't matter if he volunteered. You're putting John, I don't understand. You're trying to put it on him. It's policy to keep the officers safe. What if he shot another officer? What if he shot a civilian? It's the city's responsibility. Listen, a surgeon can't stay up 24 hours. Even a bus driver can't be up 24 hours. That's insane. So you're talking to somebody with a gun? Come on, man. Nobody should be working like that.
So officers,
and of course, listen, if I'm getting 24 hours paid overtime, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it if you're allowing me to do it, but good management should not allow any officers to be working 24 hours.
So when I was Googling up, New York State technically doesn't have anything against that, but it does say officers may work extended shifts and accumulate overtime to cover events, emergencies, or during times of insufficient staffing. However, fatigue is a significant concern for officer safety and performance. Studies show that officers frequently operate with some degree of fatigue, which can negatively impact critical decision-making, reaction time, and safety for themselves and the public, according to the National Institute of Justice. While there might not be a statewide legal limit on how many hours you can work, individual police departments and police unions often have policies and agreements in place that govern work hours, shifts, and overtime according to the Indeed. For example, Saratoga Spring Police Department limits officers to 16 consecutive hours of duty unless exigent circumstances necessitate. So while they were saying everything I just read, while there's no real federal or state law on the hours, several police departments and police unions create these policies themselves, and several of them have what you said, like corrections. You can't work more than 16 hours in a row unless there's exigent circumstances or some extreme emergency, or some extreme emergency or exigent circumstances. And your mic is off. Your mic is off.
But those are common sense policies. It's just common sense. It's common sense. And if you want to protect your officers and you want to protect the public from a sleepy ass officer out here on the street, they shouldn't be working no more than 16 hours.
And they should get 8 hours sleep before they go back to their next shift.
Even if they don't get 8 hours sleep, it's sleep. 8 hours between whenever you work it.
I'm sorry, 8 hours between the shifts.
Right, because technically, if I did a double, right? Let's say I work midnights, I work 7 to 3, I go off at 3 o'clock, I got to be back at 11 o'clock. I drive home for an hour. I'm not getting 3 hours. I'm not getting a full 8 hours of sleep. I'm just not working for 8 hours. But the bigger problem is the sick time abuse and the fact that the PD levels are at all-time lows. Now, yeah, but John, whose fault is that?
So you're burning out. So you're burning out the officers you do have because you have low number of officers, and then you're gonna have more. And then you're gonna have more officers have to be out because of whatever.
But who's again? It goes back to the city and goes back to management. It's there because they're not hiring. You should, if they're short 30, they should be making sure they get 30 in a year. And not only that, it's going to save the city money because you're not paying for all the overtime.
Wait. He said the guy took his gun out of his holster with his finger on the trigger.
I don't know, and I'm not talking about that.
So John, please reach out to me separately. I want to know, do you know that's what happened? Because that's not what I heard. So if you know some kind of inside Mount Vernon police information,
I'm not discussing.
Yeah. I'm not talking about on the air. I'm talking about separately. I just want to know.
But if you're up 24 hours and you're dealing with a weapon and you're tired, you're going to have a problem. You know what I'm saying? You're just going to have a problem. And at the end of the day, everything you said, John, who's responsible for that? Who's responsible for hiring? It's the city. And why wouldn't you hire to keep the overtime low? Unless he's Alec Baldwin.
but no. I've heard this before, and we want to be specific. There's a lot of misinformation out there. I do not know that that's what happened, and can't nobody prove to me that that's what happened. So, there's got to be more transparency on what happened.
That's up to the department, and that's up to
blaming him. Before we start blaming him,
I'm not blaming him.
No, but that is that is saying that he took his gun out of his holster and had his thing on the trigger.
I'm not even entertaining that because my thing is, if he was cognizant, if he wasn't working 24 hours, maybe the situation would have been different because he would have been more alert. Period. It's up to the management.
And I've heard from other law enforcement who asked what kind of gun was, because they said one of those kind of guns do go off by themselves. And this was somebody in law enforcement, and they said this in the comments. So again, I do not know. And I want to be clear. I do want to understand this better, but I'm not going to just let statements be put out there like that.
That's why I said I'm not addressing how it happened. But we We should have never got to that point with an officer working 24 hours with a gun. Period.
And this is obviously not the first or last time this is happening. So there is a fatigue situation going on, and that needs to be addressed.
Fatigue,
and
but,
I'm hoping,
but it goes back. Go ahead.
Well, listen, the fatigue situation is a situation that needs to be addressed, and I'm hoping going forward that there is something to address this. And also, if there isn't a policy in place, then I'm looking to leadership. What are you going to do about it? You had the situation.
Good luck.
Because you know things only happen. Like, you can't get a stop sign on a corner unless some kid got killed. Then you get a speed bump and the stop sign. So since we had an incident that goes on, So since we had a situation,
that's what you're going to get.
Since you had a situation, what are the response to the situation going to be? That's what I'm looking for. Like, do you move forward and put policy in place, or make sure something like this can't happen again? Right. So that
He said, Jack said, is this a joke? No, ain't nobody joking, bro.
No, Jack. There was a situation, an officer was working 24 hours, and somehow, I don't know, his gun went off, and I think he may have shot himself in the foot or something like that. So, how can you blame an employee's actions after being awake for 24? I'm not blaming the employee. That's what I was saying.
He's talking to John. He's talking to John. He's responding to John. But
I agree.
Listen,
I agree.
Listen, once again, you're not going to hear a goddamn thing. You're not going to hear a goddamn thing. But my concern is that, first of all, if they're still understaffed, then they need to hire. Every year you have a budget. And if you're budgeting for a certain amount of number and you're not doing it, what are you doing with the funds? You're going to burn it up with overtime because you got to fill all these slots. That's not good management. Let me tell you something. When they are, every year, if there's a certain amount of officers that are eligible to retire, we have an academy to fill those slots, whether they leave or not. So nobody gonna argue with me. We deal with 720 officers. And you trying to tell me you can't deal with 190, 180? When you should be, 220 or 210, whatever Nicholas used to say? Well, how hard is that?
And I wanted to say that we had both the former and the current Mount Vernon PBA presidents on who addressed these issues, rotating shifts and all that. We've had them come on.
It's simple math, AJ. It's simple math. If you're paying all this money on overtime, you got one officer working 24 hours. So that means what? At least 3 shifts, 4 shifts, right? 3 or 4 shifts, right?
Yeah, 3 shifts if it's 24. Yeah. Yeah,
right.
Over 20. If it's over 24, it's
right. So that means if an officer has to work 24 hours, that means you're tremendously short. You are tremendously short.
That is a big issue. You're right. Okay, Damon, that is a big issue.
No,
right.
He took the overtime because that's what they allow him to do. What are you saying? If the department says it's okay,
the point Damon is making. And I remember these days. So Damon worked the midnight shift, and he would go in on the shift before that and work a double. And then they had this thing at his job where they would mandate overtime, like you couldn't leave. But because he had worked 2 shifts, they made him go home. Because even though it was mandated overtime, like everybody who was leaving that shift had to stay, because he just finished 2 shifts.
No, because we have the common sense to make sure that our officers didn't work over 16 hours. Of course, if I could work 24 hours, I'm going to be there because you know how much that is at time and a half. Of course I'm going to do it. What are you saying? Because they allow me to do it. Common sense. It's common sense. Like I don't like, dude. I don't even understand how we having this conversation.
Why that used to be our policy, but why? But it's not anymore. Why isn't it anymore?
Why?
That should be a problem. That should be the problem. Why isn't that anymore? When did
Why
it change?
isn't it anymore?
These are the questions.
And what union president agreed to that dumb shit?
Right. And as me reading this for the first time, I'm asking these questions, and I'm not in law enforcement. Y'all have to be asking these questions. Why is this change? Why? When and why?
Exactly. When because people just got greedy for money.
But you know what? I can only be as greedy. I can only be as greedy as the leadership will let me be. I can want to work 48 hours in a row, but if leadership has a policy that I can't work 16, no matter how greedy I am, I can't volunteer because there's a policy I can only work 16 hours.
Right. You better work 16 every other day, but you ain't working 16 back to back to back to back to back.
Right. And that's what you used to do, David. I used to say Damon worked triple doubles. He'd work 16 and then he'd come home, then he worked 16, then he'd come home, then he worked 16.
But that's legal because you got allegedly you got 8 hours and the department didn't care as long as you wasn't there for that 8 hours in between. There were some people sleeping in the parking lot to get to sleep 8 hours and come back in the building. If they're that greedy to make money. Yeah, but you're not there. But the problem, and neither are we.
Wait.
But you're making assumptions of what he did.
I just want to highlight what you just said, John. John, you are my man, and we cool. But you just said I can't say I'm not there. But you're the one bringing all of this up, though, I'm responding to I'm responding to what you're writing, and I'm responding to that. But then you say you can't. When I asked the question, you said I can't say I'm not there. But they need to fill positions. Agree. Everybody agrees on that. And yes, there is a lot of greed. We all agree on that. I can't say.
Okay, but at the end of the day, if you know that you're short,
you can't say everything you know. But okay, you will call me to fill me in. Let's do that.
All right, but at the end of the day, John, if you know that you're short-staffed and you're budgeting for 220 and you're at 180, it is incumbent on the management and city to fill those slots.
Wait, but number-wise, let's talk numbers because that's where I am. I'm not in law enforcement, but I'm numbers. So if you're budgeted for, what'd you say, 220, and you only
remember the old numbers.
I'm just running numbers just for the heck of it. So let's just say you're budgeted for 220. I'm not saying that's what it is. We're going to use that as a number. And you only have 180. Again, we just use that as a number. That is what, 40 officers? It is cheaper to hire new officers at the lowest run than to pay senior officers overtime. That's just numbers.
It's common sense.
When I like to boil things down to make it make sense. And from a budget standpoint, and a city who is strapped financially in many different ways, and that they can't afford to pay bigger salaries and stuff for the police department and all these other things that I've heard, that would make sense from a fiscal financial situation because you save money because the new officers coming in at the bottom level. So you're paying for these officers as opposed to paying officers who have been at different levels. You're paying them overtime. Whatever you're paying them would probably pay for 2 officers.
No, but that's what I said earlier. That's what I said earlier. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
And this is
if you know that you're down now, like I don't know what they're doing. But nobody has questioned anybody.
And that's what the show was about. We ask the questions that other people are not asking. I'm not really even pointing blame at any particular person or persons, but these are questions that need to be asked, and these are situations that we believe really need to be addressed because, listen, this situation, no one got hurt. Well, the officer got hurt, but a fellow officer could get hurt. Like I'm just thinking if you're riding with an officer who's fatigued and you get into a situation, that person
you get into a car accident.
No. If you get into a situation doing the job, like dealing with some criminals or whatever, and something comes up, the person can't back you up because they're not 100%. They don't have your back 100%. Like, ain't that the whole thing? Having each other's back, watching their six and all that. If you work 24 hours, that person is not going to be able to watch your back 100%. And both of y'all or someone could get hurt. Those seem like logical things that should be addressed. And just full disclosure. So as the vice president of the NAACP, it just made it be known that I am demanding a meeting with the police commissioner, any of the white shirts that want to come, the mayor, and all these people. Because they took our meeting before. But we haven't had a meeting since the DOJ investigation. And I want to know what has been put in place. So what I was told by one of the white shirts, I'm not going to disrespect him and name his name, he's cool. He told me they would love to have this meeting because they would love to talk about all the things and brag about all the things they're doing. I was like, but the public don't know these things. So yeah, I want to hear these things. So I'm in the process of setting that up over the next couple of months. We're going to probably have that. So I will report back after, I've actually had this meeting on what's going on. I'll probably write something up or whatever. But, I say this because I say this for two reasons. One, a lot of times you hear a lot of people complaining about stuff. What are you doing about it? So I can't, Black Westchester has always looked into this, but since I have another hat as the vice president of NAACP of Mount Vernon and the head of criminal justice of the Mount Vernon NAACP, I'm calling this meeting so we can answer some of these questions because these questions need to be answered. And I'm not going to just sit back and, like a lot of people, just get on Facebook and talk a bunch of junk about the people that's in power. And you know what I'm saying? You're not doing nothing about it. I'm using all of my powers and all of my different hats to address these problems and to get our leaders to address these problems.
That's good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm being, but I will say, I'm being cautiously optimistic, but I would not be surprised if there is nothing that comes out of it. But even knowing that,
let me ask you a question.
Even knowing that, I'm still going to make the effort and put them on the spot.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What came out your last meeting?
We had to do a follow-up. Oh, people left since then. Glenn's not there no more. Did they close the wellness division? Because the wellness Jen was in.
Yeah. So the answer is nothing. Nothing.
Well, we had a different kind of meeting. This specific meeting that I want is to deal with the aftermath of the DOJ investigation and what things are going to be put in place. The first meeting was just like a meet and greet. We just touching base, and it wasn't like no demands or anything, and it wasn't really. This is a more targeted meeting for information. John Jones said wellness is still active. Okay, my bad, John. And I did see, I did see Jen at the National Day Out. She had her wellness shirt on. I did also have someone on this show that represents the Mount Vernon Department and said that was being closed. And they said it on the show. So I was repeating with someone who said on the show.
That was the union president.
He said, he said it exists, but then he said on paper anyway. So the office, we were told the office is closed.
The office is closed, and the commissioner, what we was told, is over in the fire department.
I did have a question about that. Why do we have a Mount Vernon police commissioner working in the fire department? I also, that's one of those, I'm starting to have a lot of Arsenio Hall moments here, things that make you go, And I'm starting to have a lot of these moments. And you know what? I'm going to start answering. I've been busy doing a lot of other things, as y'all hear. I got a lot of other things going on. But I'm going to get back to start answering some of these questions, asking some of these questions.
Activity does not mean equal achievement. Amen. Amen. Like, come on, man. Like, see, and then we wonder, why they can say things about us as Black people.
I still want to wait.
I
don't want John to get away with that though. John said he responded to my question that wellness is still active. And then I started talking more, and then he said on paper anyway. So on paper, is it really still active?
Yo, Johnny,
wait,
no.
Going
curve, but I do. What are you talking about?
I passed over that, and I can't let you get away with that without just. We can't just talk about something else, but just dealing with that. Is it active or is it not active? On paper, is not active. Is the office still open? Has the office been closed, as we told?
No, I think the office is closed. Right. The one on Gramerton.
And does the commissioner now work out of the fire department?
Well, that's what they're saying.
And
I don't know.
So is there still, because Jen had her at the National Day Out. Jen, she came up and spoke to me, and she had her wellness, her shirt, her Mount Vernon wellness thing shirt on. So, you know.
Well, you wear Mets and New York Yankee stuff. Do that mean you play for the Mets and New York Yankees?
Yeah, but I'm not part of.
No, I'm just asking a simple question. Is it yes or no, Negro?
I wear those because I'm a fan.
You can wear all you want. You can wear whatever you want. You can wear some old wellness shirt. Got the nice little patches on, right? And ain't nobody do any type of crisis intervention in months.
Well, I want to say, if what we heard that it is closed, I said this on that other show, I'm very sad because the things when we met with them that they were talking about, and we had Jen come on the show, the things they were talking about doing were very necessary things.
No, and it was, and also the mayor used it in her response to the DOJ about the wellness center. That was one of her response.
Yo, John is stupid. Wait, John is stupid. He said, AJ, you was a solid brother, but you'll get more done. We both doing it. You would get more done in Mount Vernon if you went back to rapping. You stupid. you stupid. You stupid. I just feel Jack is that listener that does this all the time. Like Jack got jokes. Jack always got jokes. Like,
that's why he's the comment lieutenant. Oh, no, General. I'm sorry. I almost demoted you, brother.
Is that active? No. But on paper, it says it's a function of the department. AJ, they had a table at the National Night Out. Yes, they did. So.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe something's happening.
I didn't see the table, but I saw her with the shirt because she walked up and spoke to me. I had a conversation. I just, we spoke. We didn't have a conversation, but I did see her. And we talked briefly. So I wasn't sure that they had a table. I didn't watch all the tables. I was disappointed that at least one or two other groups didn't have tables. I'm not going to throw them under the bus for this conversation, but everybody who knows me knows who I'm talking about. So, yes. I think it was a very big missed opportunity. Word salad. Oh, you said what John said is a word salad? so it's not active, but on paper it's still functioning department.
Yeah.
And they have a table at the event.
Like, so what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? But listen, I think, man, so my point is active on paper. They just definitely advertise it. Well, I mean, look. That's something as NAACP vice president, you got to figure that out. My whole point is, we about to end it now, man.
We definitely
about to end it
again.
Oh, one more thing, man. So, look, I don't know what y'all black.
Okay, go ahead.
Huh? I don't know what y'all black people going. I don't know what y'all black people going to do in New York, man, when it comes to voting. But recently, Governor Hochul just gave clemency to migrants. And the clemency was supposed to protect them from ICE. Because if you give them a clemency, then they don't have the criminal record. And my whole thing is this. I'm really tired, and if that's going to be their agenda, that's going to be their agenda. But we have so many black people in New York State that fell under the war on drugs, fell under crooked police, fell under, just a lot of stuff that wasn't good in this whole thing in Black communities in policing. And where are the Black people getting clemency? Even if Black people fell under that and then they changed their whole life to do better, you know, to just target migrants and not target other people, I think this is a political stunt. And we give our vote too hard to these Democrats for political stunts for other people. What happened to making Black people some type of number of priority in this political party? And trust me, people that's listening to me, I'm not telling you to go be a Republican. I'm telling you to stand up and get something for your vote. Get something for your vote. Exactly. I haven't heard anything that came out of Democrats' mouth that directly benefited Black Americans. I haven't heard one thing. This bill, this legislation, this policy is going to help Black Americans do A, B, C, and D. Haven't heard it. When are we gonna when are we gonna demand it?
Yeah, we have to also. We're not going to get nothing without demand. We have to make demands. We have to collectively make demands, and we not enough of us are not doing that. Not saying there's no one. Enough of us are not doing that. We're just voting and then complaining later. You need to reach these people before when they come to your votes. That's when you need to be having these conversations. If you want our vote, this is what we need from you. This is what we expect from you, or we can't vote for you. That's the time to have those conversations. Not vote for somebody because they got a D by their name. Not vote for somebody because they're a Black woman or they're the first Black man. Not vote for someone because you went to school with them or they're a good friend of yours, or you know them, or your family members are voting for them, but you don't know nothing about them. And again, this is not a Mount Vernon thing. This is a Black thing, and I'm finding this all over the Black community. So it's you have to demand more. You have to understand. You have to make more educated decisions at the ballot box. You have to know who represents what. But if you don't make it your business to find out and to ask the questions, you're not going to get the things that you want, and then you're just going to keep complaining about them. So what are you going to do? You, the voters, we the people. I think we forget about that part in politics. There still is a we the people. They can't get into office without we the people voting for them. So there's enough of that.
No, somebody have to do something because that's all I heard. That's all I heard sitting back is the migrants. And look, you want to fight for migrants, but we vote for you. Migrants can't vote. Last time I checked, unless y'all sneaking them in the voting booth. But we're the ones that which I mean, hey, listen, that's what the Republicans said. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying, like, we're the ones that vote for you. We're the ones that vote, come out and vote religiously for the Democratic Party. What are you doing for the Black community?
Damon, if you had a position and you didn't do nothing for a group of people and they kept voting for you, are you going out of your way to do anything for those people? Because you know they just
no, absolutely not. No, I get it. But this conversation is not for the politicians because they know what they're doing. This
I'm talking for the people. I'm telling the people that's what they think. Because you're gonna vote anyway, so they're not worried. That's what they think. You're gonna vote for. They have the D by their name. You're going to vote for them. They're going after the people whose votes they need to get to also win. But y'all are considered a shoo-in. I don't have to do nothing for y'all.
Look what the Amish did. Whatever they did to the Amish, it was something. And I'm still trying to find out because it's really not clear. Whatever they did to the Amish. This election was the first time they came out to vote. And they voted for Trump for whatever the Democrats did. And they showed you're not going to take us for granted. Well, 13 migrants. Well, where's the 13 black people to match it? Where the 13 Hispanic people?
Who are citizens? Who are
citizens. I'm talking about citizens.
No, I know you are. I was just being clear.
Yeah. So where are them to match it? This is a political stunt. Haven't we had enough of political stunts? Haven't we had enough of the Tish James political stunts? Yeah, I said it. Tish James, AOC, Jasmine Crockett. Have we had enough of the political stunts?
So I'm reading this new book, Black AF History, The Unwhitewashing of the Story of America by Michael Harriot. Good book to read. So we've been always saying that doing the same thing over and over is the very definition of insanity. So in the book, he was like, nope, doing the same thing over and over is the very definition of America. Is as American as apple pie. Like, that's just American. The definition of that is American. He said that's what Americans do. They do the same thing over and over, and it keeps expecting a different result. And I thought that was interesting. But as a recommendation, I all black people, Black AF History, The Unwhitewashed Story of America. It's a New York Times bestseller by Michael Harriot, Harriot. And he's a columnist at The Root. I recommend everybody go get that book. It's on Audible. If you don't like to read, you can listen to it. And the author is actually reading the book. So it's a good read. I'm halfway through it. I recommend it for everybody. As we got to start reading more too. So I want to start recommending books that we read, especially black authors that we read, that are good books to read. Also, in closing, so over the weekend I went to see the Denzel Washington Spike Lee joint, Higher to Lower. I think Highest to Lowest. Good movie. Wanted to make sure I supported it. It's a Spike Lee joint on opening weekend because it makes a big difference on opening weekend. I want to say, so I had read this before and I didn't know. So the rapper A$AP Rocky plays the bad guy. He's an artist and he's a bad guy. And I'm not going to tell you the whole movie, but I really thought that he hung out. When you're acting with someone like Denzel, and you don't have a lot of acting experience, to be able to be formidable in those scenes with Denzel, I think was very good. I think for a new actor, for a rapper turned new actor, I think he did a pretty decent job. So I just wanted to shout that out. The movie's called Highest to Lowest. It's a Spike Lee movie. The woman who plays Denzel's wife, she was the Godfather of Harlem wife. I can't remember her real name.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I know that woman. And I was like, yeah, she was the wife in the Godfather of Harlem. And she was in other things too. And there was a couple of other people in there. Mayhem, from the commercials, Mayhem. If you're not protected from Mayhem like me, he was a cop.
Yeah,
he was a jerk cop. He was in it. And Wendell Pierce was in it for a minute, and there was a couple other people in it. It was good. Spike Lee did a good job. It was a good movie. So go support that if you want. But I wanted to make sure I saw it on opening weekend. I'll probably do a review at some point. Other than that, I'm out. Just one more plug again. Monday, August 25th. I will be performing. My group JDC Force will be performing with Rakim and Drez from Black Sheep at the Eisenhower Park in Hempstead. Is a video music box experience concert. It's a free concert. They're gonna have R&B. I'm told Jeff Red might be there. Her Renee from Janae. What's her name? Fonda Ray, over like a fat rat from Austin. She's gonna be there, and several others. It starts at 6. We're supposed to hit stage around 8. Again, it's free. Eisenhower Park in Hempstead. Be a little tune-up before we go overseas in September 17th we leave. So little hometown tune up, from the Strong Island out there in Strong Island. So if you can and you're available, come out and support a brother. I need to see a bunch of people out there that came to see me. So you know what I'm saying? Like people, Rakim is gonna have his crowd and Dre's gonna have his crowd. I need JVC heads to come out there while we rocking. So come out. I should have the flyer up. Ralph's supposed to hit me the flyer tomorrow. Shout out to Ralph. And I also wanted to say, these concerts go on all the time, but we don't always get them calls. And Ralph called, and it was like, so shout out to my man Ralph McDaniels, who thought about us because he knew he was going back on the road. And should be some articles coming out soon to look out for. But that's it for me, man. The newspaper goes to the printer tomorrow. Got a couple more things to finish. I just sent Damon the cover. It'll be out in the streets this week. So, get your copies. 11-year anniversary. For those who missed this issue, who wanted to advertise an anniversary issue, the next one will be the anniversary part 2. So you're not too late. You can still advertise your anniversary ads in the next issue. But unless you get me an ad in the next couple of hours, it won't be in this issue. So that's it. I don't know if Damon got anything else, but I'm out. I gotta go finish the paper.
No, man, that's it, man. Definitely check out Black Westchester merch.shop. Check out all the dope t-shirts we got on sale now. All the dope t-shirts and
t-shirts. I also got new JVC Force t-shirts. I'll have them tomorrow. So you want one of those?
Definitely get the JVC Force t-shirts tomorrow on the Black economy. We'll talk about working hard and still broke. Here's 3 ways to change it. If you're out here working hard and still broke, at 6 p.m., the Black economy. So that's it. We out of here. Thanks for everybody. Please support. And
that book. Jack Toon recommends this book, History of America by Howard Zinn. I'm not familiar with that book, but I'm sharing it because I put it on.
All right, thank you. And everybody, man, please like, share, and we see y'all next Sunday on the People Before Politics show, Sunday Rundown. Peace out.
Thank you to everyone who supported us through Super Chat. Your contributions keep independent media alive and thriving. We couldn't do it without you. Stand up, speak out, rock the message that matters. Community before party. Get your shirt today and let your vote wear your interest and values over party loyalty. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like and share it with others who need to hear the truth. And for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes access, join the Black Westchester Magazine YouTube membership club today. Your support helps us keep independent Black media strong. Support independent Black media with style. Rock Black Westchester merch and represent the news with the Black point of view. Every purchase helps us speak truth to power. The Black Tax Pivot. How to survive and thrive under the Trump cuts. Free for a limited time, then available for $7.99 on Amazon. Inside, we break down how to use the new tax code to your advantage, how to restructure your business or start one, why trades and skills are your gateway to wealth, how to shift from spending to ownership fast. We don't have to like the game, but we better learn how to win it. No more.
This is the People Before Politics show, broadcast every Sunday at 6 p.m. Hosts Damon K. Jones and AJ Woodson bring you the news that impacts our community. Join us for unfiltered, unapologetic coverage of the stories that matter most. Black Westchester Magazine presents The People Before Politics show, the news with the Black point of view.